I'm just off the Moor in Sheffield. You can see the light cinema there. See the sign for Matilda Street. And hanging around here back in the 90s, you would still see buffer girls on the corners at lunchtime and things like that. And I'll take you down and show you some of the old heritage around the back of here. It's well worth a walk down. I've had quite a walk to walk down Matilda Street, but here I am outside the Matilda Tavern. Now, a couple of years ago there was planning permission in to reopen this as a pub again at the bottom. I'll just zoom in a little bit on that for you. So I don't know whether that pub opened and closed again, but this area around here, it's got some real heritage of Sheffield still remaining. And I've redone this video because last week I got the name of the river wrong down here. So this is actually the River Porter. If I just zoom right in up there, you can actually see waterfall up there. But just imagine this when it was teeming with industry. Now, we have kept quite a bit of heritage around here, and I'll show you some of it, or I'll show you a snapshot of it, but I just want to show you the River Porter down this side as well, as you can see. So where we do this and keep the old and merge it in with the modern, it looks quite tasteful really. See the original bridge. But what's happening is all around this area is being turned into student type accommodation. So what we've done is we've exchanged 70,000 steel jobs producing something to 70,000 students not producing anything and loaded with debt. 75% of that debt we'll end up paying. So really the universities, we're really paying for 75% of the universities, because if people don't earn more than a certain amount, the taxpayer pays it anyway. But just here they've created a park area. I mean, some of it's alright around here, and there are some remaining buildings. I mean, we've got the Duncan Gilmore up there. But to me, this would have been teeming all around the Moor area, would have been teeming with silverware, cutlery companies, small tool manufacturers. And rather than bringing in the students, what we should have done is we should have modernised our industry. We spent all this money on the banking sector in the 1990s and trashed our steel industry and whatever, rather than actually modernising it. But it is quite lovely down here, I've got to admit. Just feel nice with the river. But you could still have modern engineering around here with the river. But I am going to show you somewhere else as well, because there's a few other little buildings that will probably inspire you a little bit. So let's just pop back to some of the other buildings, and what I'll do is I'll tag them one after the other to show you. So just across from the Matilda Tavern, you've seen this building. I just want to show you something at the bottom. Now, we're told that a lot of these places have workshops in the bottom, and in here is a much lower level. You can't see it very well on video. And then here you've got like a limestone thing. Now, I've been watching videos from America where a guy's going around Kansas and he's finding buildings actually under the ground. So like this building's got 2 stories actually under the ground, and it's not the same brick. So like you might have got red brick here, is actually really ancient brick actually underneath. And this is supposed to be a modern country, America, only probably 200-year-old. But underneath their buildings, they've got it's like a limestone and another type of, like 2 stories down in limestone. But the brick looks so ancient underneath the red brick that's supposed to have been built in the 19th century. So something don't quite add up. So yeah, they could genuinely be in workshops at a lower level. But after watching these videos in America, I've got to think that some of these buildings actually go down 1 or 2 stories into the ground. Some of our history's been covered up in the past for some reason. Well, let's find you some more interesting buildings around here. So we're looking down Sydney Street here, and then you can see all the modern type student flats starting to surround it. And then what I'll do is I'll try and show you where they've actually tastefully brought in some of the old with the new. So that's another view of the building by the side of the river water. So here we have some of the older buildings tastefully brought in to the modern era without actually trashing them. So I don't know what that actually is down there, but it looks like a food place or something, but we'll find more stuff. But it's sad thinking all these streets around here were hiving with business, actually making lots of money. Probably they weren't paying the workers fair enough though, but people did actually have worthwhile work. So here we're at the Rutland Arms. I must have come here many years ago. I didn't realise it was just here because Sheffield's changed so much to how I remember it. It was an 18 to 30 club, I remember coming in here. So you remember the National Music Museum? I think it cost about £20 million and it became redundant as a museum. Complete waste of money. But a bit more old Sheffield, I can imagine this is going to get knocked down. But it looks more quaint, like, why can't we build like this? It just looks nice. It just wants new roofs on it and things like that. But you can see all the massive new modern student blocks. Well, it's for the university outside the Midland station round here. And it looks absolutely awful. I don't know anybody can get any job satisfaction. So here we have Charles Street. It's probably not recognisable, Charles Street. Just have a quick walk up here because there's another interesting building. See some modern wall art now. That looks like it's, I don't know if it's been defaced or it was meant to be like that. It looks like it's been defaced. Yeah, so you have some really nice modern art and then some person comes along and destroys it. Massive difference between the modern art. So we're going sort of up to Pinston Street around there, but I've got another interesting building if I can find it. I think I've just found it, but I want to step back from here. Just imagine this was all thriving with industry around here. Just down here was the Challenge Works. At least it's been kept. And I've got another beauty to show you as well. But you can incorporate this stuff into the modern era. Look at this. And look at this. Don't streets look much nicer like this? But you can incorporate them. You don't have to destroy them. And my big thing is, keep going on about pocket parks. Well, why can't we have mini museums around Sheffield? Displaying our historical past. So this is butcher's work, so you know, like, you can incorporate things, you don't have to. They look fantastic like this, far better than some of the other stuff you've seen me showcasing on here. But what I'll do is I'll get down to this challenge work and then I'll get back up to the Red Lion pub and show you that. So here you've got the challenge works. But they've incorporated these older buildings into the modern, which breaks it up, makes it look not so intimidating. And down here are these lower workshops at the bottom. Or did these buildings once go much further into the ground? Did they actually build red brick buildings on top of other structures? But we'll get up to the Red Lion pub, but you need to get round these back streets and just see some of this stuff. I'm only like skirting over it. I'm sure I've missed lots of buildings around here. So let's go up to the Red Lion and have a pint. So here you've got Cobble Street. These would have all been around the town centre. Then a nice bit of artwork there, sort of brightens it up. But we're on Arundel Street as it crosses Matilda Street, and I think Arundel Gate possibly got its name from Arundel Street. So I don't know if Arundel Gate existed before they put the dual carriageway in. So let's go up to the Red Lion next. So another back street that would have been cobbled, Brown Lane. So Charles Street coming up to Pinston Street's been butchered over the years, but you can see the Red Lion. I don't know if anybody can remember drinking wars, because it was still on the go in the 1980s in local pubs where I lived, but that still looks like a proper traditional Sheffield pub. Now they do have, I think it's a monthly discussion in there. Somebody comes on, I know, on Twitter, called Dan, comes on and tells me when they're having an event in there, and they come in and the left versus the right in a discussion. But we have got one other pub up here which I'll show you. But these are proper pubs, and these used to be all over Sheffield. Used to be one on every corner. But I think I've only caught the edge of it. Just walk down here and you feel more like you're back in old Sheffield around here. So we'll get up to the Roebuck Tavern. So you can see the Roebuck Tavern here as we're coming onto Pinston Street. Now this has been doubled in size to what it originally was. It was a much smaller pub, and it doesn't look quite such a traditional Sheffield pub anymore. It does on this bit here, because this will be the original bit of the pub, but at the back that's all been one big extension. But Charles Street just cuts down from Pinston Street, and it's well worth a walk down here and just soak up how Sheffield used to be. So that's just a quick tour of the back streets of Sheffield around the Moor area.